Welcome to Learning English. Prepare yourselves, everyone, as this story is an exciting adventure. Let us begin. Point 1. The confrontation begins. A major public dispute has recently erupted. It involves President Trump and the renowned technology leader, Elon Musk. For a period, they were considered close friends and allies. Before this significant conflict, they collaborated on numerous ideas, particularly concerning technology and space. President Trump is a formidable figure holding the office of President of the United States. With considerable influence over national affairs, he is responsible for crucial decisions affecting government and industry. Elon Musk stands as a wealthy and famous entrepreneur, leading major companies such as SpaceX and Tesla. SpaceX is celebrated for its rocket construction and satellite deployment. Tesla is recognized for manufacturing electric vehicles. Mr. Musk was seen as a vital advisor to President Trump on matters of technology and space. Their working relationship was solid. They frequently made public appearances together.
However,
this strong bond shattered due to a major disagreement regarding a new government spending initiative. Mr. Musk disapproved of the plan. The argument escalated publicly. It's playing out on social media for all to witness. Their exchanges were sharp. Another key figure in this narrative is Jeff Bezos. Mr. Bezos founded the massive online retailer Amazon. He also owns Blue Origin, a company engaged in space exploration. Previously, the relationship between Mr. Bezos and President Trump had been strained. They often clashed over issues of business and media. When Mr. Bezos observed the public falling out between President Trump and Mr. Musk, he perceived an opportunity. This major feud created a precarious situation for Mr. Musk. Mr. Bezos saw that this could be advantageous for him and his ventures. Quietly, Mr. Bezos began making strategic moves. He considered how to capitalize on the fallout from the clash between his rival, Mr. Musk, and the president. He aimed to fortify his own relationship with President Trump. This situation prepares the ground for a significant political drama. Featuring these three powerful and affluent men, the story will illustrate how personal conflicts among the ultra-wealthy can impact government policy and critical national projects, especially those in the space sector. Mr. Bezos appears to have a strategy to leverage the conflict between his two rivals to strengthen his own standing and advance his company, Blue Origin. This introduction establishes the framework for a complex tale of technology, power, and shifting alliances. 2. An alliance crumble. SpaceX was a key partner for NASA and the military's space travel needs. The company launched satellites and transported personnel and cargo. The Starlink satellite network, another SpaceX venture, supplied essential internet services for the military. Mr. Musk's other company, Tesla, produced electric cars, which aligned with national objectives. Their friendship was mutually beneficial. President Trump gained an ally at the forefront of technology in return. Mr. Musk secured numerous government contracts and enjoyed direct access to the president, but their consensus fractured. President Trump proposed a new large-scale government spending package, known as the Big Beautiful Bill. It was designed to fund infrastructure like roads and other public works. Mr. Musk believed the plan was fiscally irresponsible and would lead to economic problems. Their discord began online. Mr. Musk took to his social media platform to voice his opposition to the president's plan. President Trump shot back on his own social media, accusing Mr. Musk of being ungrateful for his support. The online battle escalated rapidly. They exchanged hostile messages about one another. Then, President Trump issued a grave threat, declared that the government would cease awarding contracts to Mr. Musk's companies, SpaceX and Tesla. For Mr. Musk, this represented a potential loss of billions of dollars. The sudden collapse of their friendship took many by surprise. Only hours earlier, they had appeared to be staunch allies now. Their public feud signaled the definitive end of their powerful partnership. 3. A new alliance forms when the owner of SpaceX and the president began their public feud. Jeff Bezos identified an opening. Bezos, the founder of Amazon and the space company Blue Origin, had a historically poor relationship with the president. The president had frequently criticized Bezos and his newspaper for what he termed fake news. He also took issue with Amazon, alleging the company underpaid taxes and received unfair shipping advantages. Government contracts. It's also been a source of contention in the past. Over time, however, Bezos started to shift his strategy. He began making gestures that appeared favorable to the president. Leading up to the 2024 election, the president's victory looking likely, Bezos made several key decisions. For instance, he prevented his newspaper from endorsing the opposing candidate. This signaled to the president that Bezos was altering their dynamic. After the president's victory and inauguration in January 2025, Bezos' outreach intensified. His company contributed to the president's inaugural celebrations. Bezos also attended several high-profile events where the president was present. These actions were part of a deliberate plan to cultivate a better relationship with the nation's leader. When the public clash between the president and the head of SpaceX erupted in June 2025, Jeff Bezos reportedly moved swiftly. Major newspapers reported that Bezos had 2 phone calls with the president that month. Their conversations focused on the space industry and how Blue Origin could increase its collaboration with the government. The CEO of Blue Origin also visited the White House to discuss potential contracts with the president's chief of staff. Then came a remarkable development. It was reported that Bezos extended a personal invitation to the president to attend his upcoming wedding in Venice, Italy. Inviting the president to a private ceremony like a wedding signaled that Bezos' interests went beyond mere business transactions. It demonstrated a desire for a strong personal bond. This was a clear indication that Bezos aimed to align himself closely with the president. He was strategically using the rift between the president and the owner of SpaceX to create a more favorable position for himself and Blue Origin. This emerging friendship stood to reshape the landscape of space exploration and other major government contracts. 4. The race to space now. Let's examine the race to space. 2 dominant companies are central to this contest. SpaceX, led by Elon Musk, and Blue Origin, founded by Jeff Bezos. For many years, SpaceX has held the top position in space launches. The company's rockets are powerful and cost-effective. The government relies heavily on SpaceX. They transport astronauts to the space station, deploy satellites, and launch critical military payloads. SpaceX also operates a vast satellite network called Starlink. These satellites provide global internet access and are crucial for military operations. Blue Origin is a different kind of company. It is not yet as established or powerful in space travel as SpaceX. However, Blue Origin aspires to become a primary government partner. The company presents itself as a stable and dependable alternative. Blue Origin's staff includes former employees of NASA and the military. Their current primary focus is on lunar missions. A key objective of the president, billions of dollars are at stake in this race. The government funds companies to build rockets and execute space missions. SpaceX holds numerous government contracts valued at billions of dollars, but now, due to the conflict between the president and Elon Musk, these contracts are jeopardized. The president could choose to terminate the partnership with SpaceX. This scenario presents a major opportunity for Blue Origin. If the government ceases its work with SpaceX, it will need a replacement. Blue Origin is positioning itself to demonstrate to the government that it is capable of fulfilling that role. They are vying for a share of those billions in contract money. Therefore, the feud between the president and Musk is not merely a war of words. It is a high-stakes competition to determine who will spearhead America's endeavors in space. 5. Great power. Great problems. When a small number of private individuals wield so much influence, it can lead to significant issues. Their personal disputes can derail vital national initiatives. For instance, a conflict between a space company's CEO and the president could halt important government space programs. This jeopardizes the nation's space objectives and security. Consider this. These companies launch satellites essential for military use. They offer internet connectivity in remote regions. If a single individual controls these assets and becomes adversarial, they could disrupt these services. This poses a national security risk. The government depends on these services, yet a private citizen can dictate their use and availability. This dynamic also raises questions about democracy. Is it beneficial for a few individuals to possess such immense power over resources crucial to everyone? These powerful figures can communicate directly with the president. They can leverage their wealth and companies to sway government policy. This may not align with the fair and equitable principles of a functioning democracy. The power wielded by these tech titans is distinct from historical forms of power. They control multiple facets of modern existence simultaneously, from e-commerce and information flow to space exploration. 6. The world is watching far beyond America. International observers followed the news. They witnessed the reports of the major feud. They noted the friction between the president and the owner of a space company. Nations like China paid very close attention. China operates its own space program, which differs from America's. China, the government maintains complete control. They have a long-term space strategy that proceeds slowly but consistently. They launch rockets, send astronauts into orbit, and are constructing their own space station. Their plan is stable and not subject to the whims of a single individual. China observed the conflict in America. He saw the president in a dispute with a wealthy entrepreneur who owns rocket technology. He recognized that this fight could impede America's progress in space. To China, this appeared as a vulnerability. It demonstrated that America's space strategy, reliant on private enterprise, could face disruptions if its leaders are at odds. European nations were also observing. They collaborate with America on many space-related projects. They utilize American rockets to launch their own satellites. They require partners they can depend on. If America appears unstable and its space companies face the loss of government support, Europe might reconsider its alliances. European space agencies might begin to seek out other partners. They might decide to invest more in developing their own rockets. Or perhaps they will turn to other nations for assistance with their space missions. They need reliable collaborators. Russia also possesses rocket and space technology. Perhaps some countries will look toward Russia if America now seems like a challenging partner. The internal conflict among powerful figures in America was not just a domestic issue. It became a global concern for the space community. Other countries were drawing lessons from the situation. They saw the influence of private companies in America. They saw how a major dispute between key individuals could impact ambitious plans like missions to the moon or Mars. They saw that a steady state-led plan like China's might possess its own kind of strength. The world was witnessing that America's dominance in space was contingent on a handful of companies and powerful individuals. And when those individuals clashed, America's standing in space could appear less certain. 7. The money game. Financial world paid sharp attention when the conflict between President Trump and Elon Musk ignited. Investors, the people who invest capital into companies, witnessed rapid and significant shifts. This political turmoil generated substantial uncertainty across many industries, particularly the technology sector. Tesla, a prominent company led by Mr. Musk, manufactures electric vehicles and batteries. The price of Tesla's stock, a share of ownership in the company, fluctuated wildly during the dispute. Each statement or social media post from President Trump or Mr. Musk triggered a strong reaction in the stock price, causing billions of dollars in market value to shift in moments. Mr. Musk's other venture, SpaceX, is vital for launching rockets and satellites. SpaceX performs a great deal of critical work for the U.S. government, including NASA missions and national security launches. When the president expressed his deep displeasure with Mr. Musk, he implied that the government might withhold future contracts from SpaceX. This raised serious concerns and questions for SpaceX's business model. However, one company's challenges can create opportunities for others. Jeff Bezos' space company, Blue Origin, is a direct competitor to SpaceX. With SpaceX facing potential trouble with its government contracts, Blue Origin identified a clear business opportunity. This development paved the way for Blue Origin and other aerospace firms to compete more aggressively for government space funding. The clash between these powerful men demonstrated to everyone that personal disagreements at the highest levels can have far-reaching economic consequences. It made the tech industry feel less stable for investors, who grew more cautious and began to scrutinize risks more closely when investing in tech companies. This scenario unfolded like a complex game, not just of rhetoric and power, but one where financial fortunes could be made or lost based on who currently held the president's favor. The larger narrative was about the allocation of government funds and how this conflict would redefine the future of the space and technology industries. The prevailing uncertainty left investors anxious about where to place their capital next. Within the tech sector, what comes next? President Trump and Elon Musk engaged in a major conflict. Previously, they had been strong allies. Musk's companies, such as SpaceX, were crucial for the nation's space program and for maintaining America's security. The dispute, however, was ignited by a disagreement over national spending. Musk criticized the president's plan. The president reacted angrily, threatening to cut off government work for Musk's companies. Simultaneously, Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon and the Blue Origin space company, observed the unfolding events. In the past, the president and Bezos had a contentious relationship. But now, Bezos began to make friendly overtures. Reports surfaced of secret phone calls. Bezos even invited the president to a private, special event. Bezos's company, Blue Origin, also seeks to perform space work for the government, just as SpaceX does. Now, everyone is asking what will happen next. Several possibilities exist. Perhaps President Trump and Elon Musk can mend their friendship. They were effective partners before. They might find a path to collaborate again for the good of the country. Alternatively, the conflict may be irreparable. Perhaps Jeff Bezos will emerge as the new favored partner for space initiatives. Blue Origin could secure the important contracts that SpaceX previously held. This would shift the leadership of America's space exploration efforts. Another possibility is that the feud continues. This could create obstacles for America's space ambitions and potentially project an image of weakness to other nations. When wealthy individuals hold so much power, their personal conflicts can escalate into major problems for everyone. It raises a significant question about the future balance of power. Will it reside with the government? Or will affluent corporate leaders wield greater influence? What do you believe will happen next in this unfolding story? Comment and subscribe to ensure you never miss a new story. Have a wonderful day. Take care and see you next time.